Hello and welcome to this week's Climate Dispatch. Johanna Miller, Vermont Natural Resources Council, as always joined by my colleague Dan Fingus, Vermont Conservation Voters. And this week we are so grateful to be joined by a handful of some of the state's community energy committee leaders. Today, about a dozen town energy committee leaders came to the State House to testify in front of several committees about the important work that they are doing locally in their communities, have been doing, and want to do more of as communities in the state need to step up and aim to try to fill the federal gap in terms of abdication of a retreat from clean energy and a just denial of climate science. So this is a moment in time to really ensure that our communities are supported to continue to help Vermonters cut costs and cut carbon. So I want to turn it over. I'm going to start first with Linda Grace on the Norwich Energy Committee in terms of one of the priorities she spoke to in a couple of committees today.
Hi, thank you, Joey. It was great to be here. And so the legislative item that I spoke about was there's one of the top 10 recommendations from the 2025 Climate Action Plan is to develop a greenhouse gas inventory and reporting system. And that's going to be very, very important to all of us when we try to do local energy planning. And so we're very hopeful that the committees will approve that and provide funding for the staffing to make it happen. So that would be great if it happens. We're working toward it.
We totally agree, and we've told you about this before. We're going to need $500,000 to support the Agency of Natural Resources in doing that. We're going to continue to keep you abreast of it. One of the other big things that we're going to be highlighting today is we're standing outside the top tier level of the House chamber, because at 3:30 today, the House is on the floor. They're going to be taking up H710, which is the single plant rule, which is essentially smart growth for solar. We're here today with Bill Laberge, who's a member of the Arlington Energy Committee, but also a former professional solar developer himself. Bill, tell us about that bill and why you think it's important.
Yeah, I think it's great that this is coming to the floor. It was one of the hurdles that was always out there for developers. If you've got a system on the property and then you want to add to it, then the PUC says, no, that's another plant, and you got to go through, build up all this infrastructure again. They're calling this a smart growth solar bill because it makes sense that if you've already got it on the plant, if you've got a single plant already and you just add more to it, then you shouldn't be burdened with permitting expenses, etc. So I'm glad to see that this is on the floor, and hopefully it's going to pass.
Fingers crossed, and thank you for your leadership on solar and so many other things. And we're also joined today by Yves Gonnet, Huntington Energy Committee, who has been talking about a variety of things, but I know one of the things near and dear to your heart is efficiency. So a couple things that you spoke to today.
Absolutely. I wanted to make sure that we had a number of folks in the Senate and the House that were more connected to adopting the federal energy standard, so that we're playing a little bit of a defense in case the federal administration wants to change that and maybe roll some things back. Make sure that we still have smart appliances that are energy efficient coming into the country and available for people that saves the money. And that's essentially an easy thing one should be able to get behind.
Well, thank you all for coming today. I think you've had a lot of fun. I've heard a lot of laughter from the group of a dozen of you that were here. So many important issues, even in a year that we've already talked about is a little harder. There's always important things happening here at the state legislature, and we're so glad that local energy leaders are coming and sharing what's important to them and their communities. Our call to action this week is related to what Bill just said. H710, smart growth solar. That bill is actually being voted on in an hour here on Wednesday afternoon. By the time you get this on Friday, it's going to be done, and we're going to want you to look. There'll be a link in the email of how your rep voted, and we want you to call or email your rep and let them know either thank you for voting for smart growth solar, or if they didn't do it, let them know that you're not appreciative that they're making it harder for your communities to go solar. As always, thanks for watching us. Have a great weekend.